All right. While we have more and more people joining, I'll start with giving some introduction of, in particular, this founding series and Founders Hong Kong. I'm very excited that we are kicking off this My Founding Stories series this year to bring in more and more founders who started company from Hong Kong, or who's a Hong Konger started a company from elsewhere in the world. Personally, I think this series is very exciting because it just fit our mission of Founders Hong Kong very well, that we don't just try to connect Silicon Valley or Southeast Asia resources or know-how to Hong Kong startup, but also we really love to connect the Hong Kong founders and build a community within. So, very, very excited to kick off this series. Before we started today, I want to give a promo for the next event, which my partner Edith will be hosting Yasil from Animal Cup brand. I think it's at March 15. So 2 Mondays after this, right? Is it a Monday? March 15, 9 a.m. Hong Kong time. It's a Tuesday, 9 a.m. Hong Kong time. So can't wait for that as well. But to start, I'm just, again, very excited to have Stephen, founder and CEO of GoodNotes and a personal good friend of mine, to kick off this series. I bet a lot of you heard of GoodNotes. GoodNotes is the #1 note-taking app in iOS App Store, and it's very, very popular, in particular in students' community. If you go to a cafe or restaurant in any college or university, I bet there's a very good chance that you'll bump into a handful of GoodNotes users. But one very interesting thing is, many of them actually didn't expect it's a company started from Hong Kong. Many of them thought, oh, is it a US brand, or where is this from? Pretty secretive. Stephen also have a very, very unique founding story, that he built and launched GoodNotes pretty much single-handedly for a good period of time. And now GoodNotes is a globally distributed team with probably around 80 people. So with that, I can't wait to start hearing the story from Stephen. So Stephen, first off, love to have you give a quick intro about yourself, your company, and your progress, from starting to now.
Yeah, thanks so much for inviting. Really excited to share. So maybe I'll just do a quick intro of the company. So right now the company is around 70 people. It's distributed mostly between Asia and Europe. And I'll just share more like a personal story. So like what Philip said, I was born and studied in Hong Kong. So I studied in Hong Kong until around year 11, around high school. So how I got started was around my 6th grade. So the last year of primary school, I was given a laptop as like a birthday present from my dad. So at that time, I wasn't really interested in gaming like many of my friends, but instead I actually started learning programming on my own. So I actually still remember like going to a very popular computer arcade. It's called like Golden, and then carrying home a few really thick and heavy books to learn programming on my own. So something I tried initially was making my own online blog, so people can leave their message, and also some Flash games. And then I basically made those Flash games for my friends to try to play. And then later I tried actually writing a clone of a back then very popular drawing board. It's called HK Flash. So what it was basically people can just draw using like primitive shapes like circles, rectangles, and then create really beautiful drawings. And then you replace every single stroke like a movie to other people. So I tried to do the clone. So back then I was like high school, and then when I realized math was actually useful, because I was trying to implement eraser and I have to detect whether it intersects with the circles and all the different shapes. So then I started to have an interest in math in general. So, but in Hong Kong, my overall overall grade wasn't good enough to stay in the science track. So
Wow.
yeah, but I was like kind of fortunate to be able to study abroad. So I moved to Australia to continue my study. So and then while in high school, I also got interested in startups in general, probably because of like reading hacking news. So it's like a popular forum for startups. Like I was pretty much reading it every single day. It was still pretty new, so the community was relatively small back then. So and then over the next few years, before I graduate, like from uni, I tried a few different ideas, but most of them didn't go anywhere. And then I was like mostly building.
I'm curious on what those are actually, but I'll
So
ask you that later.
Yeah. Those were mostly like developer tools. So I tried to do like a real-time server on the back end for people to build real-time app. Back then it's like a really new thing. So and then like I didn't know any marketing, anything, and I just basically put it out there, and then no one noticed. No, but anyway, so around the third year of my uni, and then the iPad came out, and then actually that was when I started learning iOS programming. So that time it was actually kind of like a magical experience to me, because it was like the first time I could touch my own programs. So before I was always using the mouse and keyboard, and the first time I can actually touch it. So it was quite magical. And then the first thing I built was actually like again a developer tool to read like programming cheat sheets on the iPad. So I have like a second monitor with all the shortcut and stuff, so that to help me program.
Wow.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So the first day, I was really excited because I earned around like $60 on the first day, and then I was kind of like imagining what my life would be like if I keep having like $60 a day. But actually, it quickly like died down to around just one $1 a day. So $1 a day. So it's
not
better
too
than
bad
nothing.
at that time. $60, right? A day, not
Just
too bad.
no,
As a
just
student,
for the first day.
As a student,
just for the first day.
Only the first day. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like a few days later, it's just $1 per day around that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then I was again trying to find new ideas. But for me, I feel like there wasn't much time left, because I was almost halfway through the second last semester. So I was kind of in a panic, like what should we do? What should I do like after I graduate? I was like having this math degree, but actually my interest was in like programming. And then I kind of feel like if I have a math degree, people won't want to hire me. So like I said, I was studying actually physics and math at the time. So and then while I was trying to do some startup ideas, I also wanted to make use of the iPad more to help my like study life. So one big problem I had as a math student was I was wasting a lot of papers. So I basically have like papers all around me, because like I have to do a lot of like, for me it was like really difficult math problems, and then I'll kind of like tear the page off whenever I make a mistake. So I just I got it incorrect and then tear it off and then throw it away. It's basically paper all around me. So I was trying like all the like digital notebook app at the time to not use so many paper, and then I couldn't really find the one I really like. So I think either it's like the UI wasn't like intuitive enough, or I really don't like those like bitmap based like looking app. I want my notes to be like very beautiful. And then so I kind of saw that like an opportunity to create my own note-taking app. So at the beginning, I was just trying to earn some money so that I can like do a startup when I graduate. So I really didn't expect that to like take off like way at the beginning. So for the last semester, I basically like used up all my elective quota, and then so like last semester I signed up all the like programming 101 course, like first year course, and then also some basic math course that I still can sign up, and then I basically skip all the lectures and skip everything,
Wow.
and then just
And do
like focus
this.
on this like full time. So the last
Wow.
semester I got the worst grade like for my whole uni, but actually I think it paid off. Like the first day, I think the first week it got picked up by the Japanese app store, and then
Wow.
gradually people was recommending the app to others,
Hmm.
and then many more people know about GoodNotes, and I was
Very, very
basically working
amazing.
on this, yeah, for more than 10 years now.
I definitely wanted to dig more into that, but it's a fascinating story of how you started. Love to recap a little because I think there's a lot of interesting points or gems in it too. I can maybe just recap a little bit. It's like I can see your love in programming, right, and your love in startup, and your curiosity to keep looking for what problems there is, and what you can solve, kind of get you started on this one. I think honestly it's the best start because people always say if you do consumer product in particular, like it's the best that if you are the user of the product. I guess that's a head start for you. But another two things I do wanted to share, to our fellow founders here, or fellow people in Hong Kong or around the world. I think it's very interesting. Is number one, Stephen is a math major or physics major, and personally, I'm also a math major, interestingly. But Stephen is also one of the most technical person I've ever met in programming and engineering. I often met with solo founders or founders with more like business degree or electrical engineering degree, saying, oh, it's very hard for me to find technical co-founder or even hire my first engineer. One thought I have here is of course, like Stephen really loved programming, but I also think his love in startup and building product kind of drive him to keep learning more and more, be more technical, and be able to single-handedly build this whole GoodNotes app at the beginning. I think one thought in my mind is always, as a founder, if you can just part of the fun of being a founder is to really learn everything. I would dig into how Stephen learned marketing and other things along the way, but if you find difficulties to getting your first technical founder, maybe it's not too bad for you to also start it learning a little bit first by yourself and see whether you can take care of some of the responsibility at the beginning. Second thing, super important for Hong Kong, don't get too discouraged if you don't get a good grade in middle school or high school. I cannot believe Stephen cannot, be a science student when he's like Form 3 or something. It's unbelievable, how it works in Hong Kong. But anyway, so one more thing before we continue. Please feel free to ask questions through Q&A or chat. We'll chat for another maybe 20-ish minutes, and I would love to have the people, the attendees, to ask questions. I'll bring you in to introduce yourself, and we can have a conversation with Stephen. All right, thanks for the first part of the story, Stephen. Very, very amazing. So I would love to continue your journey. So you started with, basically you just build this app and launch, and all of a sudden, you say, all of a sudden it got picked up by the Japan App Store. I want to dig deeper into that. So how's the growth trajectory of GoodNotes, like in terms of business and also in terms of your team? And did you do anything specific to promote the app or the launch? What did you do as a solo founder at that time?
Yeah, so I think for the first 5 years or so, I was basically doing everything from programming, marketing, customer support, everything. And then to be honest, I was actually doing very little marketing. So I was like basically spending most of my time like programming, and then part of my time like doing customer support. And then I think back then there wasn't too many competitors. There were like a few more established one, like around five. And then basically people would just try all the different apps and then see which one they like. And then I think I was trying to like becoming the best experience in that list of like digital paper notebook, and then people actually notice. So I think one competitive advantage is that I use it myself every day, and then I would just try to fix all the like minor details, and then people actually like notice them, and then gradually they kind of like prefer us rather than others. Yeah, and then in terms of the business growth trajectory, I was always surprised. Like I think we were kind of riding on the iPad growth in general. I was really surprised that our like all the business metrics like revenue, downloads would keep like kind of doubling every year. So I wasn't expecting that at all. Yeah.
Wow. So you basically it's pretty much purely word of mouth, basically.
Yeah.
Wow. Then how do you started to also do some localization on different market while you see, oh, it's picking up in Japan, picking up in, like when did you started offering more than English?
So I actually did that right at the beginning. So it was translated to a few popular languages like German, Japanese, Chinese. I do it myself, and yeah, and then a few other languages as well. Because I see that it doesn't cost me too much, and then it's like why not? But actually the most time consuming part was, so on the very first version there's like a pre-installed notebook of the like instruction how to use the app. It was actually handwritten by myself, and then I was asked translator to translate everything, and then I would handwrite them myself again. Actually didn't know how to write like Japanese. I tried to just kind of try to mimic it myself. Yeah.
Wow. And you said you did that really everything single-handedly for 5 years.
Yeah.
How's your schedule?
So yeah. When I was just working on myself, I guess it's good to be flexible. Like you can just set your hours, but basically becomes like you're working 24 hours because like there's so many people relying on your product. Sometimes it's very critical for their work. They could be like a doctor or even a pilot. Like you don't want the app to crash like while they are flying. Yeah.
Wow.
And then some people have trouble like getting their documents. So I always when that happens, I always try to fix it for them as soon as possible, and then it could be really stressful.
I can see another thing which is super important is, other than you being a user of the app, I can see you really care about your customer a lot, right? Like talking about a pilot, like medical doctor, you care each of them and you want to provide the best experience and solve problem for them. I love it.
Yeah, so I think it's like a responsibility. So you create something, people rely on it. You don't want to let people down. Yeah.
Very cool. Not just in the business perspective, but really in helping, what they want to achieve perspective, right? In the product's perspective.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to dig more into, again, like the growth track. So when did you hire the first people, and why you felt like you need to start hiring? And then I know GoodNotes also went through a pretty high growth recently. Maybe you walk me through how's your thinking process changed, after working on it for 5 years alone.
Yeah, so for the first 5 years, I was kind of treating it like a lifestyle business. So I was like still again reading high-tech news all day, and then people sometimes they share like their life as a digital nomad, and then like a lifestyle business, being so flexible, and I kind of treat it as a lifestyle business until the Apple Pencil came out. So I was trying. Actually, I tried to write to I think try to write to Apple, like saying, oh, if you do stylus, then it would be great. And then actually they finally launched Apple Pencil, and then I was really excited. So and then I also realized that I couldn't do everything on my own. So there's so much we can do if like stylus-based note-taking became a thing. I couldn't do everything on my own. And then, like for example, I was thinking about we should make the whole like digital paper thing collaborative. So like throughout history of mankind, like people have their own like paper notes, like their personal notes, but they couldn't collaborate like remotely. I kind of like imagining all the different like possibilities, and then so that's why I thought it is probably a good time to start hiring to work on this together, and then actually build that like future together. So we have like so many ideas, making the paper smart, picking so that it can understand like what you're writing, and then actually helping your life more than just like an analog piece of paper, and then making it collaborative, like connecting people around the world. So I was like imagining a lot, and then that's why we start hiring, and then
Awesome.
so we keep hiring, and then actually the business so after the Apple Pencil launch, I think we basically just instantly double our revenue, and then it keep like
so your quick pause there. So your app already, GoodNotes already worked very well with Apple Pencil even before the launch.
So no. So basically, everyone has to use those like awkward like fat tip stylus, like they call it capacitive stylus.
I see. Got it. So it's already compatible with handwriting at that time, but
it's
not very good.
It was like a niche product. So some people who are really into this like digital notebook would use it, but like in terms of mainstream, no one knows about it. So when I tell people, they always, the first thing they ask is, oh, does it automatically convert to type text? So no. I was like, no. It's just like stay as the handwritten notes. Yeah, but and then sometimes they find it really hard to get it. Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think the possibility of a smart paper is really limitless, right? Like not just the paper we used to have. We'll dig more into the future of GoodNote for sure. And I love people starting having questions show up. Again, like feel free to raise hand or put your question in Q&A. I want to bring you up. I'll probably talk to Stephen for 10-15 minutes more, and we'll start the Q&A. Yeah, I mean, like I think it's so fascinating that you started growing the company pretty much from 1 person to like 80, maybe just in a couple of years, right? I'm very curious. I know you are very interested in technical. You love programming, but now with a team of 80s, your responsibility definitely very different. So personally, I'm curious, like along the way, what do you enjoy the most? Being a startup, like for now, what do you enjoy the most as a founder?
So I guess like first half of the journey is the flexibility. So basically setting on my own schedule, like being able to fly anywhere in the world in short notice while still working on it. But right now, I think what I enjoy the most is like working together with a lot of like very talented people, and then heading towards that mission together. So I think having that like being like part of a bigger group, like moving to the same direction is really exciting.
Yep. Speaking of that, I know GoodNotes has a pretty good reputation, at least in Hong Kong. Being a very how should I describe it? People friendly or very cool environment, like like people just have that reputation. Oh wow, if I can work for GoodNotes, that would be very cool. I'm gonna love it. Do you started how's that people culture important to you? Like when did you started that kind of very intentionally at the beginning? How do you see that go along with your ambition in GoodNote?
Yeah, I think I didn't actually shape that intentionally. Just somehow naturally becomes like that. I don't know whether it's like how we attract similar people, and then I actually care a lot about people, and then making sure that they're happy, and then they're feeling good every day, and then I feel like if we can afford it, why not we provide the best we can to everyone.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I heard like the Hong Kong GoodNotes office is just amazing. Still haven't get a chance to visit, but some of you, if you want to just visit, like get a chance, like feel free to pay me or Stephen, see if we can give you a courtesy on that. Very cool. So yeah, like love, like you said, you enjoy working with people the most. Now the team is big. I do want to ask a little bit on the flip side, right? Like it's never easy to build a startup, especially startup from Hong Kong and alone. Like what are some of the big challenges you faced along the way? Or like, let's say I want to ask you, like one big lesson you learned or things that you wanted to do it very differently, thinking back, like what was the thing?
Yeah. So it's a very good question. I think the biggest lesson, like at least for me, is actually finding mentors earlier. So finding mentors and also learning from other founders and entrepreneurs. So I was really fortunate to finally have a mentor like around 1 or 2 years ago, and then that actually helped a lot. And then they will help you like telling you some of your own blind spots. So if you keep just doing your own thing without talking to others, you may not actually know like what's out there, like what can you do differently. But like having that mentor really help. I wish like I had a mentor way earlier. Yeah.
I can help to just keep promoting Founders Hong Kong in this case. Please join Founders Hong Kong. Like we do offer some mentorship and like again like connect the founding network together. And honestly, Stephen is also one of our mentor in the network. So if you join, you get a chance to talk more with Stephen. And any particular challenges you faced for the company along the way that maybe it's still an ongoing challenge that you think is not easy for you?
Yeah, I think the challenge is like now the team is bigger. How do we distribute the work and then keep people excited? How do we motivate people? And then with like so many competitions out there, how do we differentiate ourselves? Like what's our like product strategy?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's very different to operate like a 10 people team, with 80 people or maybe in the future even bigger, right? And also I think you mentioned about the competition, starting early at the right platform at the right time sometimes give you a good advantage, but like competition will come up these days. I truly believe that no matter how cool your ideas, how innovative you are at the beginning, like you will face competition very quickly. How to keep the team having the energy to keep execute, all the time is very important to make sure it's it's a successful long run, right? So last question, then I think.
So sorry, and then I think the biggest challenge, as always, is about like hiring great people to join the journey. So I think throughout all the years, hiring is the top challenge, I'd say.
Yeah. Everybody, we actually had a talk about hiring last time. Last month. Should skip another one, I guess. So I see a lot of questions, which is awesome. Love to just ask you this last question. I'll start bringing up people from the floor. So like GoodNotes has been already very successful, #1 note-taking app on iPad. Probably if not dominate, like like have been the #1 player for a while. I'm curious, what's your ambition for GoodNotes going into the future? Is it keep going as this note-taking app, or there's bigger ambitions that you have?
I think the bigger ambition for us right now is like transitioning from just a note-taking tool to becoming an education platform. So we know that we have so many student users, we have millions of them, and then how can we help their study journey? How can we actually make that like medical paper experience, actually helping their study, helping them to get better grades, and then actually and then right now many people have this like study from home because of COVID. How can we make study more fun for them? So there are so many opportunities, and then I think one of our like future challenge is like how can we compete with the more established bigger players, and then some of them are already public. So in terms of ambition, I think is transitioning from just a tool to become a platform, just like a global education platform.
Awesome. Yeah, so got a lot of questions. A lot of those are anonymous, unfortunately. But I'll bring up, the first person I noticed who raised hand first, Travis Ho. So I'm gonna promote you to a panel. So you can, like turn on your video and introduce yourself a little bit and ask Stephen's question. I just did that. Oh, does it work? Doesn't seem to work with me. So Travis, oh, good. It just took a while. Hello, Travis.
Hi, Travis. I think you are muted.
Yeah, you're muted. Are you able to speak or are you able to turn on your camera? Looks like Travis has some difficulties. Let me go with order to ask some question from the anonymous attendee first. So first question I got is like, so this person is asking like, how did you launch GoodNotes back then? And would you do anything different if you need to launch another GoodNotes now?
Yeah, so back then I was basically just put the app on the App Store, and then I was in the Mac Rumors forum. It's like an Apple forum, and then to announce, oh, there's a new looking app, feel free to try it out. And then here's some promo codes for you to download for free to try. And then kind of that's it. And then I think back then it was like good strategy because like the Apple community is still relatively small and not that many competitors. But right now, if I was to launch GoodNotes like right now, I think there would be like different strategy. I have to like work with influencers and then make the app, make sure it's free so that people don't have to pay to try. And then the marketing will become very important. And then really think about like what's the differentiators like compared to other different apps out there. How can we, is there like unique selling point that you can compete with them and then people will actually pay for it? Yeah.
Awesome. Hope that answered your question, anonymous. So the second one I saw is from Janet. Let me try to bring you up, Janet. Is Janet still here? Yes. Hello. Hey, Janet.
Hi.
Are you able to speak or turn on your camera?
Yes, I think so.
Hey, awesome.
Sorry for
Finally,
sorry for the bad. Yes. So basically my question was similar to the last one because I think a lot of the startup problem is about the marketing besides the product fit issue. Of course, having a great product is important, but then I believe the go-to-market or marketing plan is also important. And just now, Stephen, you mentioned about the success was basically the word of mouth, and then ride on the small community, and then somehow iPad grows, and then your audience also grows. Of course, timing is also important too. So my question would be somehow like, if you have to like, the first question is like, do you think this kind of marketing plan can also be or marketing strategy can also be replicated nowadays? And then if not, or if so, how can you actually boost that word of mouth power nowadays? And if you have to build another startup, a new startup, what would your go-to-market plan be like?
Yeah. So that's very interesting question. So I think it's still possible. I think right now there are many new ideas, and then some of them are still very niche ideas. Sometimes I always feel like you should start with a small list and then make people really, really happy. and then people will actually just promote your idea to others, because like within that list, there's probably not that many competition, and if you can do something great for those people just promote it for you for free, and then once you make those people really happy, you can expand your offering to a wider audience. So I think in that high level sense is still applicable right now.
Yeah, I guess it has to go with context for sure. Like what kind of products you're building, right? Like who's your target customer, and then that will have different like go-to-market channels or even sales, right? Like we do SaaS, maybe sales also as important as marketing. So I guess it has to be in context. But I love what Steven said. It's still primarily product driven. But how do you find a niche and your strongest voice is, right? And started from there.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
All right, thank you, Janet. I'm gonna put you back. So the next question we have is again from an anonymous. She's asking, when did you start hiring and pitching investors? Is it a good idea to hire before the profit is enough to cover salaries? Classic question.
Yeah. So I think for us, we were quite fortunate that we are profitable from day one. So we hired before we pitched to investors. So we start hiring after the Apple Pencil came out, because like what I said, we saw a huge opportunity ahead. And then so the first thing we did was actually applying for Y Combinator. It's like a really famous incubator in the US. And it's actually also the firm running the Hacker News I read every day. And then we actually got invited over to US and then pitched to them. But and unfortunately it got rejected. So but we still keep doing it. So yeah, so I guess for some of the your startups, if it's not profitable, it may make sense to pitch to investors first and then hire. But if you can already have some people working on the ideas and then have very good results, I think it helps your pitching.
All right, I hope the person received that. I'm not sure who asked this. So the next one we have Bhaskar. I think you have a couple questions, so I would love to bring you up as to speak. Hi, Bhaskar. Zoom is really slow in responding to this. She's still not here, right? I don't know why. Oh, declined. He declined. In this case, I think I would just pass first. I saw Graciana. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. So I'm gonna bring you up, Graciana. Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Hello, Grace.
Hello. Thanks. Thanks for organizing this, Philip. It's great. I'm really honored to meet you, Stephen. I'm really impressed by the development, especially the growth of your app. And it seems like a really good app, and you're like a founder who focus a lot on the product itself, like yourself is a programmer. So my question is so since the company has started, like right now your role is it still more like a programmer, like you focus a lot on the product, or you have moved your role to more like business driven, like more growth and strategist role in your company? And so are there any more interesting projects you're looking right now? And then if yes, like would you mind sharing with us? Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks for the questions. So I don't really do hands-on programming anymore. Otherwise I would become like a bottleneck. And then people, why are you not spending more time programming? Yeah, so my role is more like thinking more about the strategy, and then like more business focused and also product focused, like in terms of the high level direction. What should we do? Like what should we do next? So yeah, so as mentioned before, right now we have a very interesting transition from a note-taking tool for personal use to become like collaborative tool to become like an education platform. So I think we are betting huge on that.
Like what is the like a plan for yourself or for GoodNotes in next 5 years?
Yeah, next 5 years is always a very good question. So I think if we are doing everything right, and then GoodNotes will become like one of the biggest like education platform where all the students around the world would rely on to help their studies, to become part of the bigger like learning community, and then everyone would actually learn much more efficiently, and then get better grades, and then actually make the whole like learning journey more fun. That's our goal.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, great
Thank you.
question, Grace. I think it's honestly always good to look ahead on where you want to be in 3 and 5 years, but don't plan too much ahead. From my experience, it's
Yeah,
always
given the
like
current
1 or 2
situation,
years. Yes.
yeah, I guess it's not really it's not
Yes,
real practical
yes.
to think that long term.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
but there's a subtle differentiation between those two. I think it's a very
But
good
it's
question.
definitely good to have a vision for, and so you have a clear goals for your company.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, thanks, Grace.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we have Ais. Good name. Ais Lee. 1 second. Okay. Hello. Hi. Oh.
I
Hello. Can you hear us? Are you able to speak or turn on your camera, Ice?
Yeah, you may have to unmute and turn on the video.
Hi.
Hello, could you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought the internet, the connection is a bit bad, so I can only turn on my audio, if that's okay.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
fine.
No worry. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Stephen, for sharing. It was really insightful to hear your founding story of GoodNote. I've been using GoodNote after going into university, and I personally found the user experience really great. And I just really want to learn more about if you guys had any obstacles of when translating the handwriting experience like digitally, and if how you guys overcome that process. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Could you elaborate a little bit more what you mean by translating the handwriting experience?
So it's a bit like, because obviously, when you have pen on paper, you're able to kind of, you can write, you can draw, you can erase, you can cut things and paste it on it. How about putting that digitally onto an iPad? Did you have any trouble doing that? Did you guys do a lot of research to find out more about the experience?
Yeah. Thanks for the question. So it was definitely one of our biggest challenge. How do we have a very good handwriting experience, being an app for digital notebook replacement? So I personally did a lot of research. I was reading a lot of research paper. Sometimes they are very academic, and then I guess having a math degree helped, because a lot of them have basically many equations. So I try to invent something, and then I try many different ideas. And then I care a lot about the whole pen and paper experience. So so one funny story. So when the app was first launched, I was kind of like picking the yellow paper color. So I basically bought a bunch of like Moleskine notebooks, and then for the paper color itself, so I put the iPad side by side. So next, like left hand side is Moleskine notebook, right is the iPad, and then I take many pictures, and then until I match the paper color pixel by pixel, I compare to pixel color, and then to match exactly. That's how I pick the yellow paper color. So I was like really particular about all the experience related to the whole like handwriting. So I think it was like both like really challenging, but at the same time really fun. So like it kind of like you can use your like creative power, like your creativity, inventing something, and then getting into the hands of the people, and then seeing people really enjoying it. I think that's where the satisfaction comes from.
Awesome! Wow, such an attention to detail. All right.
Yeah, hope they
answer your question, Ice. Thank you.
Thank you. It was really great because I'm actually a master's student studying like human-computer interaction. So I've also been thinking about like studying, looking into, you know, the experience of like digital note-taking as my dissertation. So it would be interesting to see if I can go into that.
Wow, that's very cool. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ice. Good luck on your dissertation. Wow, I have more and more questions. I do have to pick now. You know, I think I need to pick and have some cut off. Very glad to see, you know, so much engagement. Let me bring up our friend Jean. You asked a lot of questions. Like I will ask you to pick one that you like to ask the most. Okay.
Hi, Jean. I heard about you so many times.
Oh, you guys never talk?
No. I didn't talk in detail before, but no, I don't want to take up too much airtime. Like Stephen, I can talk to you separately. But yeah, maybe one burning question. Hey, so since there are so many iPads nowadays, what is your perfect iPad to use for GoodNotes experience?
So I always try to have like the latest iPad and then the oldest iPad we can support. So to make sure like it's still working fine. Yeah.
What size?
Yeah, but in terms,
like
what size? Oh, it's the what's they called?
the normal one.
10 inch, the normal one, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And another question, yeah, I'll pick only just one. But so on product, right? I think, you know, oftentimes I think we find it very challenging in Hong Kong to find like product people. Like, you know, how do you feel that, you know, we should do more in Hong Kong to, yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry, I freeze for a second. Keep going.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna ask, like, you know, how do you think we should cultivate like more product people in Hong Kong and really, you know, help people understand the importance of this? Because I feel that, you know, not many people understand the importance. A lot of like, you know, let's say the more traditional companies, they're very focused on projects as opposed to product.
Yeah, so I definitely think that we should do more sharing, like all the product people from Hong Kong could like share more. And then I know that in terms of like education in general, there are more courses on like how to build products, and then it's more like global focus as well. So I think I'm just like brainstorming right now, but as the first step, I would think that like having like very experienced people, product people sharing to the Hong Kong local community would be a great first step.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thanks, Jean.
Thanks.
All right. Wow. Who's next? So I got Isaac, who also asked 2 questions. You know, I would, you know, like to bring you up and please ask the one you're more interested in.
Hello, Stephen.
Hey, Isaac.
Hi,
So
Isaac.
you have built an amazing product. So when did you start planning to expand your business to the international landscape? Despite your product is actually quite adaptive to different culture regions. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I wasn't really thinking about whether to build an international product. I was just thinking, oh, we should build this like digital notebook replacement on the iPad. I wasn't really thinking about like geographic locations, but I was trying to like build the best product for this particular dish. So yeah.
All right. Sure.
I guess one way to say that is like the product by itself is pretty adaptive, multiculturally, right? Because I think, you know, sometimes when I talk to Hong Kong founders, you know, it's a challenge. You know, Hong Kong is a city, is small, like you can likely start and you have to go to the next market very quickly. But to be honest, sometimes it all started from the ideas too. You know, some idea will be more, you know, kind of more cultural related. Some are less, right? Like it depends on whether you really want to do this or if you think in business perspective, maybe an idea that's less cultural specific would be a better one to start in Hong Kong. You know, just kind of another way to answer that question.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely.
Learn a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Isaac. Okay, I think I'll take two more and I want to have to wrap up with Stephen. So I have Thompson here. I think this is a good question from you, Thompson. Are you joining? Okay, let me try one more time. If Thompson is not joining, I'm gonna bring, oh, declined. Okay, no worry. Kat Lawton.
Hi, Lawton.
Hi. Hey, Lawton.
Hey,
nice
Steven.
to see you.
How you guys doing?
Very good.
Good.
Hey, yeah. So my question is around capturing opportunity, because I know Steve Jobs wasn't a big fan of the stylus. I still remember him getting on stage, you know, talking a lot of bad stuff about the stylus. And Steven, you seem like you have an 8-ball that told you about the future, that the stylus would be the future. How did you know Apple would have this product evolution of the Apple Pencil? And second question is, in hindsight, if Apple Pencil never released, how do you think that would have changed GoodNotes' growth?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So I actually didn't know whether Apple would release something like for the stylus. So I never know. So that's why I kind of treat that as a lifestyle business for many years, like 5 years. So, but I think one thing I try to do is like building something that is like kind of fundamental. So I kind of feel that like note taking on paper is kind of like really a fundamental thing that we all do. And then if I can like replicate that really well on like digitally, then there's always a market. So it doesn't matter whether Apple is doing a stylus or not, but eventually someone will do it. And then I was kind of like preparing for that. But and then at the same time, I really care about it because like it's like I was like a math student. I take notes a lot, and then I actually want to make the experience really great, even for both like for other people and also for myself. So I guess I was okay like treating it like a lifestyle business if no one do a stylus, and then just keep improving the experience. But then the opportunity came. So and then I feel like I must. So I feel like I must like capture that opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think it's a very classic, you know, the love of a product versus, you know, business opportunity question. But you know, like if you even look at Roblox, right? Like how hot it was a few months ago, it's down a little bit. It started almost 20 years ago. if you look into Roblox, like with a mission to, hope to let everybody to create game easily by themselves. And I'm talking about like 17 years ago they started. So business, passion, tough questions.
Cool. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks, Lawton. All right. I think we're almost at time. So I do want to have a great wrap up with you, Stephen. It's amazing. Two quick questions. One, who's your most favorite entrepreneur?
Yeah, so like many people, my favorite entrepreneur is Elon Musk. So I think he's really inspiring. So I think actually learned quite a few things from him, just like listening to him. Yeah, and then reading his journey. Yeah.
I thought it's Steve Jobs. Okay, Elon Musk is a good one. All right, awesome. Last thing, any last words for our fellow Hong Kong founders or people who love in the startup, building startup, joining startup? Any last words for them?
Yeah. So I was like kind of reviewing my startup journey. So one thing I learned was that when you are trying to do great things, people want to help you. So if you have great mission, people will actually want to help you for free. So one story I still remember was like for the first few years, there was one time like competitors trying to buy a lot of 1 stars to leave on our app page, and now I was like mentioning that on Twitter, and then all the users like just came to help for free, and then they're like flooding amount of like 5-star review from them. They always want to help. So if you are doing great things, many people will want to join you and help you. And then I guess another thing I want to say is that I always like to say is that the best timing to do something is probably yesterday, but the second best timing is now.
Wow, very, very inspiring. Love it. Awesome. Wow, we're right at time. And thank you all to join us today. Love all your questions. We'll have the video published on our Facebook platform and also our YouTube channel. Again, March 15, 9 a.m. We have Yes Still talking with Edith. Thank you so much all. And thanks a lot, Stephen. Really enjoyed.
Thank you everyone. Thanks really for hosting.
Bye.
Bye-bye.